like, oh boy, great. I just had this feeling, that I was going to have to go toe to toe with him to win this race. He finds a way into second, and now we got 17 or so laps to go, and I've got to keep him behind me.
California's Kevin Harvick does it.
Well, Tyler, welcome back to the show again. And now 3 wins in a row. I mean, at this point, it has to just feel like you guys just can't be stopped. And on a weekend like that, going to a road course, no chance involved. You just straight up whooped them.
It kind of looked that way, huh? It was a tough fight all day, honestly. I didn't. I had to make some adjustments in the beginning of the race. Certainly, I just wasn't getting going very good in the start of the race the way that I should have, and thankfully, we kind of got going back in the right direction when it was time to flip for the end of stage 1, and yeah, we lined up, on the front row next to Blaney there, and just the way that start kind of went, Byron was able to give me a really big shove, and yeah, from that point on, I saw how fast the 12 car was in stage 1, so I was like, man, I've just got to find a way to keep them stuck behind me here for as long as I can, and yeah, we're able to do that in stage 2 and stage 3. And yeah, when we got to that final caution there in stage 3, I saw Shane and Connor. They were back there. They're right there. Like, hey man, we see you up there. And yeah, when we got through that first corner, and of course Shane clears Ryan, I'm like, oh boy, great. The one guy, you know what I mean? I just had this feeling, that I was gonna have to go toe to toe with him to win this race, even though he was starting, mid pack. He got up there right away in stage 1, but yeah, I just thought it was so fitting that he finds a way into second, and now we got 17 or so laps to go, and I've got to keep him behind me. So yeah, it was tough, man. It really was. I had to hit my marks. I had to be disciplined, and yeah, just every time he kind of closed in, I was able to position myself in a good spot and kind of take away limit his options, and we were able to keep him back there.
It seemed like to me your car it was good in all the spots where it took away the opportunity to pass, most notably turn 20, and just how good it was off of 20 stuck out like a sore thumb to me. So is that something intentional that you've worked on at COTA?
It wasn't something that I necessarily knew was going to play out that way going into the weekend. For us, I've typically always been the aggressor into the corner entries, and I felt like Ryan and Shane were that way on Sunday. And I don't know, to me, I felt like I just had a little bit more success back in that corner up a little bit. It's not really a secret, right? With SMT and everything, you're able to go back and see all that. But I just felt like I backed the corner up a little bit to prioritize the exit. And yeah, it was great for lap time, but it ended up being really great defensively too. They could kind of roll to my back bumper in 20, but I would get enough separation by the time we be going through the gears on the front stretch to where it made it really hard for them to be in position to try and make a pass into 1.
When you look at this, I mean, obviously doing something that nobody has done in NASCAR history, winning the first 3 races of the season, obviously that's spectacular. But from a driver's perspective and a team perspective, to beat SVG heads up at a road course, I mean, I know all you guys have been working to try to get to this point. That has to just add to what you guys were able to accomplish this weekend with winning the first 3.
Yeah, I knew coming into this, I know his practice he wasn't happy with, his qualifying effort he wasn't happy with, but I've seen what he's done on these road courses. He's extremely good at what he does, and I just knew it was going to come down to beating him at the end of the race. I just had that feeling. Any bit of myself trying to tell, any bit of my head trying to tell me, oh, maybe something will happen. You won't have to race him. There was no reason to think that way. It was best to just understand he's going to be in the mix at some point. He's going to be up there at some point. So yeah, to be able to, I guess in a way, go toe to toe with him and be able to pull away at the end was very rewarding, because it's been very hard for anyone to beat him on these road courses. So to be able to do it the way that we did, for what was on the line, I just think it was all very fitting for just the way this year's kind of gotten started.
What's made COTA so good for you? I mean, you've qualified on the pole there. You've won a race before there. You've been in contention pretty much every time that we've been there. Why is COTA so good for you?
You know, I at one time I thought it was just the way the track was laid out. And as it's changed and as we shorten the course up, we've, lost some of those really big braking zones. And I think more towards the start, when the Goodyear tires were harder, it was more about just going really hard every lap. And as we've taken downforce off the car, as the tires gotten softer, as we've added horsepower, what it takes, I think, has changed. So I would love to say that it's just because I get around COTA good, but I think, at this racetrack, what I did in the car to win in 2023 and then in 2026 were very different. So I wish I could say what it is, but I think it's just we've done a really good job of bringing what needs to be had in a race car 2 times now, and we've been able to get the job done.
All right, so something a little more fun. Last 2 questions here. We've had a debate on the set today because your last 2 burnouts have been pretty spectacular. We critique every one of them. I think it's going to be really hard to beat the reverse burnout. This week's was really long. When you're winning a lot like this, multiple weeks in a row, do you think about the burnout and what you can do from the week before, how to make it better? Or do you just roll with it and see where it goes before the tires blow out?
No, I don't think about it that much. We'll see how it continues to go. Maybe I'll think about it more in the future. But, again, just with things changing, with this format, DNFs are going to be a killer. And so I was reminded, after Echo Park, hey, these engines we got to reuse. Some of these parts and pieces we got to reuse. Let's be a little kind to them. So it was a big burnout, but I did my best to kind of take care of the engine. I didn't want to turn a lot of RPMs or anything. So I definitely want to enjoy and celebrate these moments, but I do think it's important to kind of just be mindful and take it easy on some of those parts and pieces.
The engine department always takes all the fun out of things. But all right, last question. Whose idea was it to recreate this three-peat photo? Because that was cool as hell.
Yeah. Sydney Freisen came up with the idea. We were up there on the stage. She's been over here on the PR side, public relations side at 2311 for a number of years. Spent time at Roush as well. So she's been here longer than me, I believe. And she just does great work. She's typically, last year we kind of mixed it up to where we're kind of rotating with the staff that we have. This year, she's primarily with Bubba. But yeah, as far as I know, the idea came from her. It was an amazing idea, and it was really fun to be able to recreate that photo. Everyone jumped on board with it, and we had some fun doing it. So
that's awesome.
All the credit goes to Sydney. She probably does not want to be mentioned in this interview. I don't think she's in today, so she'll know about it later.
That's good.
I've never said her last name out loud. I don't know if it's Freisen or Freisen.
That's okay. So well, I'm sure
she might give me crap about that.
Typical PR person, you'll mispronounce something or misspell something or whatever the case is. I live with one at home as my wife, so I get critiqued honestly about everything I say. Well, look, Tyler, I what you guys are doing is phenomenal. You guys and the run that you're on, I'm super happy for you and Denny and Michael and your whole team. Congratulations on everything. We appreciate your time as always, and good luck with. Now you're done with 3, so now the only conversation is going out and trying to get 4. So good luck on that journey.
And I know it's gonna be tough, but I'm looking forward to it. I have to get into my bag a little bit here at Phoenix.